righty, let's get her done.
Frank's back. Frank, you're back.
Frank's doubling up today. What's your call done 3 today? Okay. Mrs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good idea. Good idea.
All right, we have seafood and wine. Come on up, Carol. Is that you? Is it for seafood and wine extravaganza?
Yes.
You're on first.
Okay. Is it on there for destination?
Right after.
Oh, okay.
So we're a couple minutes late, and we
No
just,
problem.
I want to apologize to the people that are here, but we had to eat.
I think we'll survive. The question is, will you?
Is it cold in here? Yeah.
So compared to that, this is cold.
It is.
Compared to being outside, this is cold.
Oh, it's cold outside.
Yeah.
Absolutely freezing outside.
Go ahead, Carol.
So, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for allowing me a few minutes to speak to you about the third annual Yarmouth Seafood and Wine Extravaganza. Last year, the past 2 years, we've done just gotten better and better. You might have noticed at the end of the application, there's a few media items that I attached to this. So basically, in case anybody has not had the opportunity to go, so it's basically the extravaganza is to showcase Yarmouth County as a provincial destination for culinary and wine, and all of those items produced exclusively in Nova Scotia. The 3-day event starts on a Friday, finishes on a Sunday. The first event is a surf or turf, and that begins on Friday evening, showcasing Nova Scotia lobster on the waterfront, also other items prepared locally, and it's done by the VON with local entertainment. The second day is the Fish Fiesta, which this year we're hoping to expand even further than before. This is a family event, takes place on Saturday, allows charitable organizations to come and produce a seafood item, and every dish is different, and it takes place on the waterfront in the Rutter's tent. And this past year we had the VON, we had the Rotary Club, we had the Yarmouth County Historical Society, Knights of Columbus, the Village, and I think there was one more actually. And for their prospective charities, what they do is they sell these seafood items, and like I said, they're all different. And we're looking to be able to produce a little bit more than what we've had at the Fish Fiesta. And we're going to include the Department of Fisheries, and we're hoping that they will come and be able to do either contribute some seafood items toward being toward this, or we're hoping, if not that then they will at least do a display for us and have seafood sort of as the main thing, but then also tell us about fisheries, what they're doing in the province, and expand the whole fisheries idea. Because one of the things that we do not do here is really celebrate the good things that we have, seafood being, of course, our number one. Then on Sunday, the Seafood and Wine Extravaganza takes place at the Rod Grand Hotel. It's a limited ticket event. There are 150 tickets available. and that's it. Once they're sold, that's it. And we do take over the Holt part of the convention center at the Grand, and we get to showcase chefs from around the province. And last year we had the chef from the Digby Pines, we had the chef from Front and Central in Wolfville, and the chef from Halifax from the Brooklyn Warehouse. This 3-day event promotes our fishing, hospitality, cultural and culinary industries in Yarmouth County. It's the first and only showcase of its kind in this area. Further, it allows our nonprofit organizations an opportunity to showcase themselves, mingle with the community in a proactive fashion, and to raise badly needed funds to carry on their excellent work. Most events, except for the Sunday, are open to all families. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. This will be the 3rd year for this event, and we're hoping that we will get to position for a self-sustainability as soon as possible. As you can appreciate, it takes quite a bit to get an event of this size going and to be able to sustain it on its own. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Any questions? Good? Thanks, Carol.
Good. Thank you very much. I hope you all went last year, and I hope you'll all go again this year.
Destination.
Here I am.
Is that you too? Go ahead.
Sorry for taking up,
No, this is good.
this is like the best time to do it. Okay, so on behalf of Destination Southwest Nova, I would like to thank you for your support throughout the past years. Our financial investment, your financial investment, has assisted in making the Bay of Fundy, Annapolis Valley, Yarmouth and Acadian Shores, and the South Shore area one of the highest tourism industry revenue generators in the province, and a strong competitor in the world's fastest growing economic sector. In order to carry out the mandate, which is to grow tourism by 3%, Destination Southwest Nova will implement an integrated business model that focuses first and foremost on marketing and promotion, assistance with visitor services, that includes our Visitors Information Center here, and also it also includes the Yarmouth Provincial Center for reservations. It will also include membership and communication services and assist with product development where applicable in the region. Destination recognizes our unique partnership and understands the need to work with municipal units in a fair, equitable manner. As such, we have developed a mutually beneficial program to grow the tourism industry throughout the region, as well as sustain and stimulate growth in the economic base for municipal units. During the 6 years that this program has existed, and there's a reference to this on page 13, that 20 out of the 28 municipal units available in Southwest Nova have invested in this regional program. We continue to work with municipal units and encourage full participation in the municipal investment program. Your investment in tourism will help to sustain and grow the visitor economy, the municipal tax base, and increase tourism expenditures. Only by working together can our rural and small towns remain viable, sustainable, and able to ensure those tourism businesses have the marketing support to achieve bodies in beds, cash registers ringing. Spending by visitors in this region benefits all sectors of the economy and contributes to the municipal tax base, which helps support and maintain essential services such as municipal waste management, municipal roads, police and fire services, and snow removal. The funds that you invest in Destination will be leveraged and used to grow tourism and stimulate the local economy. We look forward to a positive and continued relationship. Main objectives. Destination Southwest Nova exists so that tourism in Southwest Nova is a viable and sustainable industry. It provides partnership opportunities for marketing that are affordable, accessible, and effective. It unites tourism stakeholders within the region on common goals, such as financial and human resources are leveraged to increase return on investment for partners, to communicate that tourism is everyone's business and is important to Southwest Nova's quality of life, and it creates awareness for value and benefits of working in tourism. Another main objective would be to facilitate, coordinate, and support product development and enhancement within the region. Standards and codes of ethics. There exists a positive climate for capital investment in tourism development. There is a pride and value for membership investment. Members are encouraged in the activities of the organization. Members participate and contribute to the marketing strategies of the organization through the marketing committee, serving visitors with excellence. So why invest in tourism? There's a number of items here. The sustainable industry, future jobs, good for the environment. Tourism, if developed correctly, is sustainable industry that is far more environmentally friendly than any other forms of the industry. In many cases, our natural resources are protected by the tourism industry. It improves our quality of life. New business development, tourism attracts visitors to the area, and if a positive experience is had, persuades them to stay, to retire, or to set up a new business. Tourism often attracts new businesses that offer services associated with a higher quality of life. And this also affects the community in which there is a tourism business. Tourism development is the most important tool for saving downtowns everywhere. Ambiance and attractions are key elements to luring visitors downtown and to having them return again. Jobs and education. Tourism is a major contributor to student employment and both facilitates and encourages post-secondary education within a community. It provides community pride and morale, and the rural economic development. Tourism is a catalyst for economic development in many rural areas of Nova Scotia and is supplementing and replacing many resource-based industries that have been decreasing over the years, such as mining, agriculture, and some fishing. Agritourism is a new fast-growing niche within the industry and it may well be the economic recovery that farmers are waiting for. A sustainable tax base is a primary concern for rural and coastal municipal units in Nova Scotia. Investing in tourism will enable long-term sustainability as well as the opportunity to grow the municipal tax base in many communities in Nova Scotia. Tourism economic impact in the regions of Southwest Nova. In recent years, the tourism industry in the region generated more than $250 million in revenue and over $3 million in municipal taxes in the region. And there is a diagram there which shows that. Service inventory in Southwest Nova. If you look down to the middle of that sort of block there, you'll see Yarmouth. And what this is a chart that shows the available fixed roof units and campsites throughout Southwest Nova. And Yarmouth has 30 fixed roof units, 594 units, number of campgrounds 4, and number of sites is 388. While the list is extensive depending upon interest level, this region of Nova Scotia provides an abundance of experiential offerings such as signature events, Acadian culture, Aboriginal heritage, historical interpretive tours, lighthouses, mysteries and phenomena, maritime heritage culture, and many, many more. Finally, the region is home to 25 visitor information centers, including 3 provincial centers, as well as the portion of the provincial check-ins reservation system housed here in Yarmouth. Destination understands the importance of visitor services to our guests and is only one of numerous reasons why the association partners with municipal units. Board of Trades, Chamber of Commerce's, and other sponsoring organizations to assist in the staffing and reporting as per our provincial partnership agreement of local and regional visitor information centers. Destination provided each visitor information center in the region of Southwest Nova with certain equipment, etc. As a result, the success of Destination Visitor Information Vision Project, the Department of Economic, Rural Development and Tourism, along with the other regional industry tourism associations, has initiated a national online standards training program for all local and regional visitor information center staff as a future goal for visitor centers, and that does take place here in Yarmouth. The development of a manager's manual was also done, and destination reference manual is currently being utilized as a model for local and regional VICs throughout Nova Scotia, working with the regional tourism industry. The municipal return on investment. Destination is nearing the 4th complete fiscal year of operation under an elected board of directors and newly established municipal investment program. Tourism is an important economic sector in the province and has the potential to increase long-term sustainability of many of our rural areas. The provincial indicators show that Nova Scotia welcomed close to 2 million visitors from January to the end of November in 2013. Municipalities recognize this economic catalyst and the importance of working together and leveraging the greatest return on investment. The municipal investment program yielded a very positive response to our mutually agreed upon strategy, with 20 out of 28 municipalities opting to invest in the strategy to work with Destination and grow tourism in their communities. As a result of this partnership, Destination is creating opportunities that have the potential to bring more awareness to our tourism products, increase tourism business, and create a real sense of cooperation. Meeting and listening to the suggestions of our municipal partners enable Destination to better develop a number of move forward initiatives, some of which are included: leverage industry, municipal and attraction marketing dollars with both our provincial and federal partners, provide an opportunity for smaller businesses to partner with others within the region, facilitate opportunities for festivals and events within the region to partner and expand, facilitate opportunities to partner with the transportation links in the region, Nova Star Cruises and Bay Ferries Limited, market and promote our experiences in all areas, Bay of Fundy, Annapolis Valley, Yarmouth and Acadian Shores, and South Shore. Update our website to ensure a higher profile for communities within our region, including all municipal websites. Provide better and consistent communication to each municipal partner through the new industry portal, Southwest Connections. Municipal representation on Destination Board and operational committees for regional inclusion and informed decision-making. In 14-15 tourism season, we'll continue to bring opportunities through the reestablishment of the transportation link from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia to Maine. With your continued support and investment, our region will be much better prepared to meet and tackle these challenges together. The year 2012 provided numerous opportunities, being named in the Lowly Planet, Frommer's, home to Canada's natural wonder, the Bay of Fundy, and home to one of the top coastal destinations by National Geographic. The new 7 tourism regions now being marketed by the province places 3 of the 7 regions in southwestern area of Nova Scotia: Bay of Fundy and Annapolis Valley, Yarmouth and Acadian Shores, and South Shore. This provides even more rationale for our region to lead the way in new innovative partnerships. Destination is the conduit to the Nova Scotia Department of Economic and Rural Development and Tourism and the Nova Scotia Tourism Agency for marketing tourism, festivals, events, visitor servicing, as well as promotions for the entire region.
Carol, is this in this package?
It is, most
Okay.
of it is already there.
Yeah,
And if
Yeah.
you've had an opportunity to look at
yeah,
that, then
we've all
you're pretty much,
taken a peek. It's we just had, just for the time's sake.
yes, absolutely.
Any questions for
Yeah, is there
Carol on
anything?
destination?
Because-
Go ahead, Counselor.
Just a question to the CAO. Jeff, last year we put in place through YASDA where each unit chipped in, I think it was 2,500 for a total of 10. Is that on the table this year, or has there been any discussion on that? Because I thought we were going to look after this through YASDA. It would be a much cleaner,
Yeah.
I mean, where
Yeah.
YASDA is one of the key players in the game.
We did that last year. It was under discussion for quite a while before it got sort of set up, but that approach ensured that the 4 municipal units within the area were in, as opposed to years prior when some were in and some weren't in terms of investing in destination. And so I was a little surprised to see the request, frankly, because I thought renewing that arrangement would have been the preferred way to go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because to me, just for the benefit of council, the municipal partnership program is critical with destinations, how they work. But we here in Yarmouth kind of did something really different. Instead of going hat in hand as Carol is today to each unit and saying, okay, X, Y, Z, we as the 4 units, as members of YASDA, all decided that we'd all equally contribute. And that's a model right now that other municipal units are looking at around the province, that thing that we started here. So I would kind of prefer, I don't know how we would handle it, but let this be off the table here, and that we ended up putting it back into the YASDA table the way it was, because that really worked, because the other units were all on board, because we all work together with YASDA, and YASDA is a part of destination in the marketing, and it was a naturally good flow. So I'm not sure how we can do that, Jeff, but I'd kind of like to see it out of this total and let the YASDA group look after it.
Good, go ahead.
Your Worship, a motion of this committee of the whole to refer it to YASTA and recommend following the similar processes as prior years would work.
Yeah, I'll make that a motion, Your Worship. I'd like to move that this application be referred to Yarmouth and Acadian Shores Tourism Association with the understanding that we will follow the same formula as we followed last year in partnership with our 3 other municipal units, and that
That's
we
no
recommend their
guarantee.
participation. My motion.
Just so you know, that's no guarantee. That's just going to, yeah.
it's just
Okay.
moving away from here.
Yes. Moved and seconded. Any discussions? Questions been called? All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion carried. Got that, Linda? Of course you do.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
Am I dismissed? I'm here straight. Okay, great.
Yes,
Thank you very
drop
much for
mine.
your time.
Thanks very much. Yarmouth Life Skills. Did they call and said they may not be able to attend? Okay, Campanile? Would Carol's phone answering service please come forward?
I'm sure you didn't realize it, but you have a leak right here. Yes.
We don't have leaks.
Yeah, you do. Oh, you really didn't know that? I figured, yeah.
Don't you worry about that, because we got the scaffolding to take care of
I
it.
see that, yes. A new permanent fixture, it would seem, doesn't it?
So are you really going to have to sit there for a minute while we
Oh,
seriously
really?
take this
Oh,
in?
you really do. See, right
If
there.
there, oh,
Kept dripping right there. Yeah, it's right by your, it's under your foot. Yeah, it is. It kept doing that.
I would dare say probably on phone.
Oh, I don't know, just suck it up. It just sucks.
are we good?
Just by way of note, yes. I really didn't think you, I thought you all knew that, but anyway, just another
It's not a
one.
leak, right? It's not a leak.
I know. Oh, no, look what I've done to the
I
rest
just-
of us. I've just blew it. Ah,
1 second.
you got it.
I lost my breath. My composure and everything else was gone for a moment. That's not a leak, right? You're not, let me just say, That split second it took for you to okay.
Until I get up there, which will be never, we will look into it.
It's all good, yeah. You dear souls.
You know, that's one of the things I say all the time. It's all good, but I can't.
I know.
Go ahead. Go ahead,
Go
Camp
ahead,
Peniel.
me. Thank you, everybody. I'm here again, Christine Long, as you know, from Camp Peniel. And thank you so much for giving us funds through the years. It does make a huge difference in the life of the children and the guests that do come through the camp. As you see before you, you have a little form or a little, my plea to you to help us build a Gagaball court. You ever hear tell? I never heard tell of the thing. I worked in Ontario for the months of September and October. I was seconded by Muskoka Bible Conference to work for them for a couple months. During that time, went on a camp tour and saw 6 of the 42 or 52 different camps in Ontario. And 5 out of 6 had a Gagaball court. They said it was an amazing thing. The children loved it. What it is, essentially, is just a huge octagon, 15 feet round-ish, and it's like glorified dodgeball, where the children or whoever's playing just hit this ball about between their elbow and their hand, and it can't touch any other part of the body or you're out. And that's all it is. But I've talked to my carpenter to build it as we need it so that it can be moved. It's going to be about $1,000. So that's what I'm asking you for, is that much. We had 365 kiddos come last year. Our numbers were down. That could be due to a couple different things. Most of the fact that there's not that many kids anymore because they're all in Alberta. Yes. But this is something, I know, that's sad, but nonetheless, we're still here, and I'm still here. I had thought about taking a year off and taking a nap or two. I don't know if you all heard that. But anyway, the long and short of it, I didn't. And I'm still here forever, it would seem. This is my 22nd year there, so yes. But I got looking at it, and everybody was saying, this is an amazing thing at the camp. They just loved it. The children loved it. And so I think we need this. And so I'm asking you for funds to help build the children a Gagaball court.
Thank you.
So, any questions
Yes.
about anything?
One, are you going to ask the municipality?
No, just you guys.
You may want to consider asking them as well.
I don't ever see that grant come up. Do we see that? April 15th?
Yeah.
So I can ask them for
You can ask
some
them as well, just in
too?
case. I don't know that we ever give 100%, so that's just for
Right.
your,
Right.
just,
I think last year you gave me 500, I think.
okay. Yeah, we did.
Thank you.
520,
Again.
yes.
Right.
Okay,
But
good.
other
Any more questions for Christine?
It's not even that complicated. It's just an octagon on the
Yeah.
ground.
Good.
What'd you say, Jim? Oh,
Yes.
I know. I press on. Yes, you know you always get an invitation, and some of you are able to take it, to come and have a banquet, a nice, quiet, candlelit dinner with us. Yes.
Thanks, Christine,
You're
very
welcome,
much.
everybody. Thanks a million.
Take care. Southwest Fusion Volleyball Club. So they're not coming, but we discussed that as well. Yeah, so take a peek at that. SPCA, Carol. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. I guess everything was presented for what the SPCA is looking for, and I'm just here to answer any questions that anybody might have.
Okay, I gotta find SPCA. There it is. No. Any questions for Carol? Read the SPCA? I
That
guess
was
we're
easy.
good. Listen.
That was easy.
Next time we won't keep you so long. Yeah, it doesn't mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Easy, that was the easiest presentation yet. Sorry, sorry for that. Thanks for coming in, Carol. Agricultural Society, Miss Bonnie.
Miss Bonnie?
I'm not going to do a very big presentation because I'm sure you guys are all kind of getting a little tired of hearing the name Yarmouth County Agricultural Society. But on that note, we are moving forward with the 2014 planning of the exhibition. This will be our 155th anniversary of the exhibition being held in the town of Yarmouth. Our funding, our biggest supply of funding comes from corporate sponsorships throughout the town and the municipalities, which we last year did an increase on our sponsorship program. We went from $25,000 to raising $37,000.
Nice.
Which helped us do some repairs that needed to be done to some of our assets that we have. We had to do some repairs to stalls and our office as well. It certainly has been a year of trials and tribulation, and we're still jumping through hoops, but we're hoping that things will come together, and we're asking the town for support in their grant program. Without the support of the municipalities and the town, these things will not happen. A little breakdown, we did an average of the last 10 years, and our attendance in the last 10 years over 5 days coming into Yarmouth is 27,000 people in a 5-day period. That's what we bring in. The average booking of rooms is 50 rooms for the 5 days, as well as 75 campsites within the area. Campsites that are booked. Yes.
Good.
And if anybody has any questions,
Any
Fire
questions
away.
for Bonnie? Good, we got her, we got her. Thanks for coming in. Southwest Nova Biosphere. Bon Tom. Is it supposed to? What time is it? 12:40, late. Keswick. How are you doing today, Ron?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Good.
I don't know how formal this one was going to be, but anyhow, this is how I got it prepared. Good afternoon, your worship and councillors. I want to thank you for the opportunity to address this council on behalf of our council. First, I want to inform you that we have a typo error on page estimated budget. I apologize for that. Look at the page where I estimated budget, and I made a bad typo error. It should read 22,800 instead of the figure that's shown. The figures on the right don't come to the figure that's there. It should read 22,800. On the estimated.
Oh, on the under total expenses,
Yes.
22.8, then you're in
And
the whole
that gives me my
400.
$4,400 deficit.
Good, easy fix, thanks, Ron.
Okay. Now, our council was incorporated in, on November 24, 1999, under the Society Act of Nova Scotia, and it was incorporated with Industrial Canada and the Society Act on the 22nd of May, 2007. Now, our purpose of our organization, the Keswick Métis Council of Yarmouth and District, was created to exist to foster, promote, and preserve our Métis identity and heritage. We will strive to serve provide education, training, business opportunity, leadership, so that our people can reach their full potential and realize economically, cultural, social, and spiritual wellness while becoming more economically independent and self-reliant. Now, the service we provide, we train young people that require more confidence in a business environment. And by that, I'll explain that a little further. It's on page 3, but I'll go into that more detail. People that graduate from the community college or people that have problem with West Nova Inclusive Society, I write a program and we bring them into our office and we train them for X number of weeks. For example, right now, the lady we have there, I got a contract with Service Canada for 35 weeks, all wages at Merck paid, 100% by Service Canada. And it's through the Career Focus or Youth Skill Link program. Anybody, any business or the person will achieve almost their full potential. So far, we have a very good record. Everybody we train have acquired a position or employment somewhere. Now, our organization has approximately around 2,200 members, like we said there, and if everybody was paying their full membership dues, I wouldn't be here applying for money. It's like your taxes. If everybody paid taxes, you guys wouldn't be on our back. So we cannot collect all our taxes. Some people just join, and after they almost disappear. Another thing that we provide scholarship and bursaries for our young Métis. We help young Métis to achieve their career, like joining the military, obtaining scholarships, and different organizations. We also provide education and culture in the community, such as in our local schools, our local library, and Nova Scotia Art Gallery. Our problem with our computer, and that's what I am applying for right now, our computer was purchased by the federal government in 2007 when we had a JCP program, Job Creation Partnership Program. The government paid for the computer, paid for a salary of a person for a whole year. Now, the computer is so old, it's bursting at the seams. We try to get it up, it's updated to its max, and with the memory and everything else, that we can't go any further. Now, is there probably any questions you have on any of the budget or anything you'd like to know? I can explain one thing before you say. Probably if you look under rent, you see we only pay rent. In rent, we have heat and light included in the rent. We had to downsize as the government is not paying our rent and paying our heat and our light anymore, so I had to downsize. So I managed to acquire an office that supplies us with heat and light.
Good.
For $2,070 a year.
Good job. Deputy Mayor?
Ron, you're asking for money towards a computer. I wonder, don't we have resources in and around our town that you could be in touch with somebody who would be able to supply you with a computer, you know, at almost no charge or at a minimal charge?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of.
Yeah, I don't want to take the job on, but I'm going to give you a couple of names sometime when I see you. You show them this quote. See how close they come. They may have older equipment, not as old as what you're wanting to.
See, we got to have something that can take the database, and there's 2,300 members right now on the database, plus all the program we put up and we type like we have the retirement program and everything. So we need a big database, a big memory.
Any more questions for Ron? We're good? Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Library. Ian, did I see Ian come in? Yeah. You know what? You're not on my list.
You're number 49, Frank. We're only at 37.
Over 35? Well, come on in, but you're not on 1220 here. 220.
Come on, Frank. Frank, you do that up there in this copy, in the schedule? Paul.
Come on up. Come on. Ian, do you mind?
I'm up here.
Ian will go. You can go right after Ian. It's only going to be short anyway. It's only going to be a minute.
First thing, I want everybody standing up. Come on. Up. I want you to get the blood flowing. Come on. You've been sitting there a long time.
I agree.
Come on. Come on, Ken.
Oh, get up and get moving.
This will warm you up, Ken. Get some blood flowing. Come on. Well, no. I quite frankly, we're taking a break, Phil.
You don't want to get them up and moving. Okay. Phil's on his walk.
That's it?
Go ahead.
This is pretty straightforward. We've never come to council for any funding. And with successive increases to our budget, the thing that gets hurt the most is always the book budget. We have adoptable campaigns every 2 years, and that is a chance for everybody to help rejuvenate the collection, put new books on the shelves, which of course is key to getting people into libraries, which also helps community literacy. So, you're going to give a gift to Jim. Deputy Mayor, hand it to him. Say, here you go. Now, how does that make you feel when you give something like that? Gift of literacy.
Oh, that's incredible. Yes, it's really good. It's actually Billy and giving him a CD.
Exactly. No, for sure. So, when I'm asking for $1,000 for the book campaign, that's 40 new books, average price $25, which is what this book you'll find on for the average person of, say, Chatham, Amazon. It stays at that branch to serve the people. Average circulation on a book is 45. It's all there in the submission. So you think about it. That's touching as many as 1,800 people at $1,000, and it's just great bang for your buck. It's something that only comes around every 2 years. It's something we've never requested of council before, and it's at a time of important need for the library. We've been cutting staff hours. We've cut that branch down to 6 days a week from 7 days a week. We basically cut as much as we can. So the only way to help boost our budget in terms of books and new books on the shelves, and it's really important, is our Adopt a Book campaign. So we're coming to you to help out in that cause, and it's the very first time. And again, you're putting these in the hands of the people of the town and area. And don't worry, yes, I have approached the municipality of Yarmouth.
Thank you,
Any
Ian.
questions?
Jeff does. Madeline does first.
No, Jeff. I think Jeff was on, you were on first.
Actually, he
I'm on
wasn't.
second.
Go ahead, please. in case
Okay.
we get in the
Thank you,
wrestling
Your
match.
Worship. I am on. I do have fears about literacy,
Sure.
and I see more and more dependence on these audiobooks.
On sorry, which?
Audiobooks.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And I was wondering how do you deal with that? How do you fight it if you can? What are you doing? Because I see it creeping in more and more, ever so with each new generation. We have a generation out there that cannot even read cursive writing. They can't even write their names.
But they can tape it with their thumbs.
Yes,
But
well, they
yes,
can't,
no,
they
I
can't,
understand.
and they can't spell their names either. So I see the dependency on that ever increasing with each generation, and so I'm wondering, what are you doing in order to preserve the actual physical inventory of real books on the shelves?
Well, this is a key way. What I'm talking about right now, in terms of Adopt-A-Book, bringing in new materials, making sure you keep people coming in, keeping the collection fresh. The other thing we do is we do a fair bit of outreach. We work with the schools. We bring programs out to the schools, and we bring programs out to area daycares. We also bring classrooms and work with schools to bring them in to the library as much as we can. And basically creating an awareness and raising awareness. Campaigns like this not only help put books on shelves, but also creates a buzz around the library. People start talking and they're hearing, oh, there's new books at the library. Oh, you know, I've never been to the library. Do you know you can get this book or other things just by going in there? Maybe they drag somebody in or they walk in on their own. It's also very important to anybody traveling through the area, of course, to use the library. That doesn't address the question you brought up, but I think we're all working as hard as we can to reinvent ways to reach youth and the public in general, and a lot of that's through partnerships. We work with literacy associations. We work with adult reading groups in terms of, particularly in the Acadian community. Recently, we had a group of adult readers who are trying to enhance their reading skills go into some of the public schools, actually they're Acadian schools in this case, and read to the kids. So it's an exchange, and it's also tied to the library because we're there as a presence. We, through another program, we have some books we can actually give away as sort of rewards for young readers. And also, one way we have them collect is we have these little stickers, and they can bring that sticker in and come into the library. They will get a free book, which we have received from a sponsor, and then they are also exposed to the library and all the free books that they can borrow there. And if you've ever seen a child go into a library for the first time, it's quite a wonderful experience because they just run all over grabbing things off the shelves, and it's an amazing thing to see for sure.
E-books is also another concern that I have, but I'm not taking up any more time. I'm sure someone else is.
Sure.
Any more questions for Ian? Sorry, that was on for a bit, sorry.
Councillor,
I always forget.
I beg your pardon? The book thief? Yes. Yep.
CAO, go ahead.
thank you. Yeah, no, I was going to ask the question that Councillor Dawes was about to get to, is how is the e-book thing working in the library? Does that
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing, Jeff.
e-books? How's that working? I know you have a lot of e-books.
E-books, now, we're separating e-books from the Adopt-A-Book campaign this time around. We actually included them last time. E-books are a huge success. It's our fastest growing circulation. We have two ways that we work with e-books, which is not part of this funding request. But it's basically, we have a consortium amongst all the regional library systems outside of HRM that gives us buying power. But the problem is those shared books are open to anybody in the 9 regional library systems. We also have our own exclusive collection, if you will, that we purchase, and you have to have one of our library cards to access to download those ebooks. But it certainly is, we have to create that balance, right, between physical books and electronic books, and that's the line we're treading right now, and both are very, very important. And funding is always an issue. Publishers do not charge libraries much higher rates than you can imagine compared to the general public. It's particularly in ebooks. We can be charged up to $80 for an ebook. You will never be charged that as an individual.
Thank you.
Ask how long you can take an ebook out for. 2 weeks. Thank you. 2 weeks. Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Ian, 2 weeks for an ebook, 2 weeks loan? Actually, with ebooks, you can select how long, but it is up to 3 weeks. But you have a choice, you have to watch that drop-down menu when you're in our overdrive collection. Check off 1, 2, and 3. So just be aware of that. But you don't get charged late returns with ebooks because they just become invalid files, but you do have to delete them after you agree. Otherwise, they take that memory.
So, do you want me to turn this on?
Yes, please.
Time-wise, and
Go
I
ahead.
apologize.
We just hit the time's up for this one.
I would be glad to do that for you. Just come on in.
All right, I think we'll do, yeah, I prefer that, and then we'll,
Thanks, Ian. Frank, come on up.
Well, now that I see the results, you know, and they're saying, why are you here, Frank? You double dipping. Like, I already asked him to leave, but he won't leave. So it's like a bad dog, right?
So which one is it?
Gateway's over 35.
Yarmouth Gateway's over 35.
I just got them so out of order
And I
now.
apologize if I
No, it's
pretty sure
okay.
that I was told 12:20, but
Just go ahead.
maybe I was told 2:20.
Get her done.
Sorry. Yeah, I can't believe I'm over 35. I know. I thought you were old when you taught me, but. So that must
Did
make
you,
you ancient. That must make you ancient now.
Do you guys have did you want to, did you have something to say, or did you want to?
I mean,
Any
you already have
question?
this, but I guess basically I just want to say where I was involved with, I've been involved with the Chicks with Sticks female hockey tournament over the last 4 or 5 years, and I've been involved with the World Junior A Challenge the last 2 years, and I was one of the co-chairs with the play-on event that came to Yarmouth. I know what it's like to be an ambassador for our great community, and just from reactions from people every time they come here, it's an undiscovered destination. It's not a place, and I think that our ball team, when we go to Brampton, Ontario this year, could be a great ambassador and promote our community for teams to come here next year in 2015 to play in the Canadian National Old Timers Championships, which we were awarded last week. So in saying that, that's why I guess we're here asking for the grant that we've asked for, is we can be a great ambassador for our community to try to attract the teams that are going to be at the 2014 championships in Brampton, Ontario, to come to Yarmouth, Nova Scotia next year.
Good. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship. And Paul, you took the words right out of my mouth. I think it's imperative, Your Worship, to support the over 35 Gateway team going to Ontario. They are great ambassadors. The last time I was here in Yarmouth, Frank, you guys won. They're national champions. You know, we're going to have a great tournament here next year, and we want to rebuild our tourism infrastructure, and what we're trying to do is get events like the National Over 35 Baseball Championships back to Yarmouth. And not only are these guys going to be playing in Brampton, Ontario, but when it comes back to Yarmouth, besides playing, Paul, you're going to be volunteers, Frank, and I know Frank and Paul have been instrumental with the bid and what's going to happen next year. So you have my 100% support, and this is the kind of things that we want to build. And thank you, Paul, for your efforts over the last couple of years with the Chicks with Sticks and the ground hockey and everything else.
Well, it's
You do
just
a great
something,
job.
I just do it because I like volunteering and
You like
helping out
sports?
our community, right?
Yeah, and you like sports?
I like sports.
Yeah, so can't wait for next year, and the next meeting, let me know. I was away for one bit, but I'll be involved again this year with the committee. Next Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I won't forget you.
Can you get your light there, Phil?
Sorry.
Sorry. Councillor Lancho?
Yeah, likewise, and despite the fact you have Frank with you, you know, I'm 100% supportive, no problem at all. I think you guys do a great job. And Paul, like Phil said, thanks very much. You're a model volunteer and excellent. You've done the town a lot of service, and I know I've heard a lot of good things, so thanks very much again.
Thanks. Yeah, good teachers.
I agree.
I was a model
I agree
student.
too, but why 2,500 when under grants you have 3,000? It's
Pardon?
got to be frank.
What was that?
Even with Harry, and I had the same question. I said, you have under budget grants, municipal and business, $3,000, and you're asking us for 2,500 of it.
Well, we're gonna, yeah, I don't know why we put that figure there, but
It's all good. It's all good. I don't care. I'm just saying. Good.
We figured out our expenses are gonna be just under 18,000.
Oh, well, you need that much. Yeah.
no, it's not cheap to go.
Can't be having a loss. You can't be having a loss financially
We
or
have a couple guys coming with
on
us,
the
yeah.
field.
And also, I don't know if there's a resource out there, and I can talk to Rick at Yasta, but, you know, there may be, I'm gonna ask him if there's a package there that we can give to each team that's in Ontario to promote our area.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got pins here, we've got probably some other things. Actually, we need to talk and write that down for committee of the whole, but for gifts for packages.
We need a mascot.
I agree. Councillor Dawes?
Thank you, Your Worship. I noticed that also, grants municipal slash business, and you had 3,000 slotted under that. And I was wondering if you have 6, there are 3 municipal units, and let's say if you had 3 businesses that supported you, that would be 500 each, and that would give you your $3,000.
And there's a loss there too. I didn't notice that when I asked that. There's a $7,500 loss. So.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and-
I'm just that was just the first thing that came to my mind when I saw your ask, and also the budget, what you had budgeted.
Our team didn't participate in the Nationals in Edmonton, so we took these figures from the last time we were fundraising.
Oh, okay.
So that's about what we had received before. But as I mentioned, the town of Yarmouth is the first request meeting that we've applied to, but we do plan on asking for business support and other municipal.
All right, good, thank you. And even though I'm going to wish you good luck, I know you'll do well, because this is very well supported.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks for your time.
Come again, Frank.
No, I'm done for today.
Walk Against Bullying, I think we have a package, but they won't be attending due to a funeral. Hope? Welcome.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen to my cause, or our cause, I guess. Just going to give you a little background. HOPE is the oldest non-for-profit organization for persons with disabilities in the town of Yarmouth. It was founded back in 1980. We get no funding whatsoever from the government, either governments. Our funds come from our annual car lottery, which this year marks its 20th year, and we're pretty proud of that. And we also have our March auction, which is held every March over at the Red Knight. A lot of businesses support that. And we do have some donations. Hope offers a drop-in center. We have a summer day camp for persons with special needs. We offer an income tax service for seniors and low-income earners. We also go out and do different presentations to different organizations that request our presence. We have a trustee program set up so that persons that can't manage their money, and it's usually through community services, they come to us, we get their check, we pay their bills to make sure they have a roof over their head and eat and whatnot, and then we give them a weekly allowance so that they can go out and buy their groceries. every Christmas, we have a Christmas party that we sponsor for persons with special needs and seniors, the different seniors' homes. And we also sponsor a dollar ride service. And right now, we're in the process of starting a support group for parents or guardians with persons for special needs. I attended a meeting a couple of months back, and it really opened my eyes as to how many different things there are out there, but how many people with special needs children don't know what is out there to be offered. And I've been talking to people in Halifax and whatnot else, and a couple of our board members actually have kids with special needs. They're adults now, but still. So we're in the process of starting a support group for that. I'm asking you to consider the total amount of the grant that we have that we asked for, so that we can continue these programs and help the less fortunate. I mean, you all know Tony Penny and Tony Can and whatnot. They all come down to the center. We have people come in and we always have coffee on. We have some people that bring in donations of goodies and whatnot that we put out for them, and so, you know, it's a definitely worthwhile program and needed in Yarmouth. So, thank you, and anybody have any questions for me?
Any questions? No, we're good. Thank you. Well, if you, thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to leave some of my business cards here if anybody wants them, and they'd like to contact me for any type of whatever. I'm always available. My door's always open.
Thank you very much.
My cell phone is on there. I'm there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Southwest Early Childhood Intervention. Good afternoon.
Part of my gear, I'm helping with grandkids today, so I'm in jeans and a sweater.
Is he Alania's dad?
Normally I'd come with tie and, town council. Yes, I'm on the board of the Southwest Early Childhood Intervention. My name is Dr. Jerry Casella, and we are funded partially by the provincial government, but we also have to fundraise money for the program elements. And I provided you with a handout. Is there enough for everybody?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thanks. About the program, and I was here last year, so you probably will remember all of this, but I'll just highlight a few things. We were founded in 1996, so this is our 18th year, 2014, to be serving young children and their families. And it's a field that I worked in when I was a professor at the University of Alberta, so I decided to volunteer when I moved here to Yarmouth, and following my daughter and grandchildren and her husband. And discovered that the program is underfunded, and we've had to fundraise quite a bit the last few years. That's hopefully going to change. The new Minister of Education and Early Childhood Development is reviewing all 18 early intervention programs around the province with a view to funding them appropriately, as they should be. But anyhow, that's my hope for the future, so we won't have to come begging the council for funds. And I've noticed others mentioned it too. We do go to the municipality of Yarmouth, the municipality of Argyle, to seek funding, so we try to touch all the bases. Page 2 is what we do. We provide a family-centered, home-based, specialized service for kids with special needs, children and their families from birth to 6 or school entry. We collaborate with other community service providers such as speech therapists, occupational therapists, physicians, and so on. And we deliver an innovative, high-quality intervention program through a home visiting. We have 3-year-old screening twice a year, We accompany families to clinical visits with their child, and we support the children in their preschools and in their transition to school. And on page 3, you can see who we help. A variety of children, those diagnosed with a medical condition or a disability, children at risk due to some medical or environmental issue, children with a developmental delay of 6 months or more in 2 or more areas of development. And these children are throughout the county of Yarmouth. The next 2 pages, why early intervention, are really the essence of my presentation to you in seeking funding for our program. The early years are critical, as you all undoubtedly know, and home-based, family-centered support has been found in research to have a great impact on the development of children and their families in this preschool window of time. And they help address the inequities in the resources families have to properly develop their children's potential. Because the children have these special needs, your typical parenting process many times doesn't work too well. And so the early interventionist works closely with the parents to help their child learn language, learn social skills, self-help skills, and so on, to be more successful when they get to age 6 and enter the school system, which has obviously lots of resources for children with special needs. And on the other why early intervention page, it makes really good economic sense. Every dollar invested during the preschool years has a payback of $7 in that person's lifespan in terms of greater contribution, increased productivity, and reduced spending that children and families subsequently access in health and education and so on. And so it has a big long-term benefit for our community as well as for the individual and their family. And that's been shown to be true in a variety of economic research studies, for which an individual received the Nobel Prize actually several years ago for pointing out that early intervention in those first 6 years has a huge impact for the community throughout the lifespan of that individual child when they grow up. So it has a tremendous return, probably better than a TSX actually, Toronto Stock Exchange. $1 for 7. So we really thank you for the things you've done for us in the past, and we hope you can continue to see the importance of the Southwest Early Childhood Intervention that it plays in our community and for our families and communities. Thanks very much. Questions?
Thank you, Doctor. Any questions? I remember this last year. I learned a lot. Good. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much for seeing me today.
Southwest Nova Scouting. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. My name is Jackie Jackard, and I'm the area commissioner for the Southwest Nova area. This area actually covers from Clare to Barrington. We are happy to say over the years of struggling that we have had a climb in registration of our youth over the past couple of years, so which is really good. We have asked for a grant of $500 to help towards the Pierce Park camp. This is situated in Wellington, but is used by scouting. Actually, across the province, if anybody wants to use it, we do open it up. But we have had a recent, every year they come down and inspect the camp. This year they have found a few faults in our camp where we're at the chance if things aren't done soon, we're going to lose the use of the camp. We have had local people that have donated wood and things like that so that we've been able to make repairs. We've had this first time this year had to actually put insurance back on the camp, which was $750, which was quite a ding for a small, our organization. We don't want to take from the youth, so any fundraising that the children have raised goes towards their activities only, and nothing goes towards the camps. That's their money, that's for them. Our camp was given to us as a gift, it was in 1933. And it was, wait a minute, I gotta remember his name. Sorry about that. Thank goodness for this book. It was given to us as a gift, and we have the Spinney Lodge, which was erected after A.K. Spinney. It was done in 1933. Not much has really been done to that lodge since then, other than this past October, we had to replace the complete decking. Yeah. We did have a well. Unfortunately, the person that installed the well a few years ago had his tractor backed up too close to the well, and we've never been able to use it because oil leaked into the well and we've never been able to use it. But we do bring all our water in. We are a wilderness camp, which means there is no electricity. We have recently started using the solar lights to light ways to the washrooms and things like this. One of our problems is our washrooms need to be replaced. They're starting to rot and things like that. Is there any questions that you have?
No, good for you for carrying on this long with.
I've been in for 33 years myself.
With what you had.
Yes.
I remember Girl Guides camp.
Yes. Oh, this camp is
flashlight.
actually being used more now than ever because it came down to use it or lose it.
Yeah.
And we have groups that will camp out there in the worst of weather. They will go out there in tents and they will camp.
That's what scouting's about.
That's what it's all about. It's
yeah.
getting the out and scouting.
Don't need a 5-star.
And that's
Good.
from 5s to, us
Yeah.
adults, our old creaky ones.
That's what they remember. Thank you very much for coming in.
Yes. Yes, I have. Yeah. We do hit every municipality.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nancy, I think the Craft Guild is up.
Thank you. On looking over my copy of what I gave you, I have made a mistake on it. On the front page, I'm asking for $300, and on the back page, I'm asking for $250. So I will go for asking for the $250, which is in my budget. We're hoping to have the Craft Splash again this year. This will be our 9th year of having it. No definite plans are made at this moment because we usually don't do it until later on in the year. But we're hoping to do the same as we did last year, which was very successful. It would be September 24th to 29th. This is the time we've had it sort of traditionally to try to have it be just before the boat goes off for the winter time, and when we could. It's also a time of year that usually there wasn't much else going on. Now, last year we had the ball hockey tournament at the same time. But craft people go to things anyway. We have one day in Clare, one day in Wedgeport, hopefully again this year. Last year they weren't able to participate. One day in Yarmouth, one day in the village, and one day at the museum in Pubnico. For the Yarmouth Day, we have a craft sampler where we had 25 different booths where you could try out different kinds of crafts, and we would plan to do that again.
Do a lot of people come to that?
We had about 80 people on that day came to that, and they all participated in trying out the different things. The money that we are asked for from the various municipalities and the province goes for advertising. No one is paid in their organization to do any of this. We do pay our musicians if we have them at our individual events, but most of our money goes for advertising. And as you all know, advertising is very costly. Our brochures last year, the last 2 years, rather than having a fancy colored brochure printed for us, we went for much simpler brochure and had it locally printed off. And which costs an awful lot less than it did before. However, we do have to have things in both languages because we're in a French area. And so we have our advertising as much as we can in both languages. Any questions?
Good. Thanks, Nancy.
Okay. And come out and try stuff when we do have our day.
Thanks for coming in. SPN is 43, and they've taken theirs back. Yarmouth Town and County Sports Hall of Fame. It's one of our famous people. Woo!
Yeah.
Welcome, Chuck.
Thank you. Well, I'm here representing the Yarmouth Town Sports Heritage Association, and we basically exist in order to preserve the history of sports and to honor and induct sports characters, people, builders,
Characters
coaches.
was a, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess for me, I mean, I've been involved in 8 years, and I go through the Sports Heritage Center, and you see all the names of the people who have gone. Some have gone, some are still there, and it's the value of having a place like this, the history of sports, I think is really, really important. So we, of course, we have our sports banquet, which has become a pretty big event, and it's one of our fundraisers. And we also sell our sports calendars. This year we tried to feature the youth in our calendar, which I think was really important. There's a lot of young up-and-coming athletes and builders and you know, special event people who have been involved in journalism and things like that. So we want to keep this going, of course. We have a little membership problem. We're trying to get our membership up and running and going, and so we've applied for a couple student grants. We were fortunate last year to get a student grant, but we only got for 8 weeks. So we've applied to both provincial and federal government for a student grant. And hopefully we want that individual to market our organization. We feel that there's not a lot of people that know about us, not enough people, I should say. We also want them to go after more memberships. I mean, there's a lot of people who get inducted, and then they're inducted and they just go away, and they're not part of our organization. We want to involve those people more. So we're here. We've got our building. Of course, that's costing us, and we just need the continuing support from the town.
How much is a membership?
Membership is $100 for a lifetime.
I'm a lifetime member.
Yeah.
I gotta.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a lifetime member, yeah.
What'd you say they should be? Why? Good. He'll sign me out. He'll get his.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, $100. Well, I mean, we've never discussed that.
Then you never get anybody. Okay. I got an idea. I think
And it's $20, 20 for a year, 20 for a year. I think. Yeah. So that's me, and that's what I'm doing.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I gotta find you next week. I got an idea, but I gotta run it. I gotta run it through. Councillor Lancho, go ahead.
It's all it is. Yeah.
Chuck, have you, I've been a while since I've been over there with your group, so many things. I know at one point they were talking about being more active with endowments. Have you guys done anything, or have you made out anywhere in that to people old people like me that'll probably croak in a few years, leaving a bucket of money to you guys? Do you get much of that?
No, we don't. We get donations though.
Yeah. But it'd be nice to.
Poor old Leo, when he went, you know, a lot
Yeah.
of people donated because he was really actively
Yeah.
involved, and that was the thing, you know. But we don't get much of that, you know.
See, the museum has been pretty smart. That's what they do. I know they're quite active in getting people to leave a few shekels to the facility.
So I think the big issue is getting, and this is what we hope to get 14 weeks from a student.
Yeah.
And specifically to have them go after, you know, but the inductees who are already there, to see if they can become members, and then maybe that's, you know, to see if they can maybe get the endowments or things like that. So that's why, but we need, like, I mean, the museum has somebody that works, and we don't have that, and that really.
You do want to spend a little more time and concentrated efforts on planned giving.
Right.
Especially with your
Yes. Yeah. That's
If awareness is one of them, this is not the place for this because we don't have time, but if awareness is one of them, maybe some high profile, so my first thought is an awareness thing, or an awareness, I don't know, it'd be a reception or what it would be, have the Mariners there. And all those hockey fans, and maybe people, Jody Shelley. I don't know if that's something, he does so much for the community already, but maybe if he said something, it's just a thought, but those high-profile people,
Right.
it really brings awareness. It's, people pay attention.
Chuck, a couple of years ago, I don't know if you were there, that we brought in
Thanks, Bill.
the West Nova Liberal Association brought in Ken Dryden for a
Yeah,
fundraiser in Saunierville, and we had, through the contacts myself and Councillor McIsaac had through the Liberal Association, we got Ken Dryden to go down and do an autograph session down at the Sports Hall of Fame.
How
So-
much bigger do you know what I mean? Like,
that
it
kind of thing.
just,
It's a good
because
idea.
really, if it's not on somebody's radar, now it's on my radar now, and I'm not gonna ask Ken to pay my $100, I'll pay it myself. But thanks for the offer. But it's not on, but it's not on the, if it's not on my radar, then I'm not gonna think of it. I
Right,
just think,
it's
what a
true.
great organization, but to do that with a big name like that, so all those things, and I know the hockey boys, they've got such a big following, and there's Jody Shelley, and there's, you know, all those, anyway.
I agree with you.
It's a
I
good,
think one of the
just to get people to take it on and do it. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
board members are
Yeah.
stretched out pretty thin. right?
Exactly, no.
And so that's why.
Yeah. But it's great what
And
you're
it's
doing,
hard to
that's,
get from organizations,
Yeah.
from government, it's hard to get core funding.
of course,
Yeah, so
of
that's-
course.
yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
thank you, Chuck,
Thank you
very much.
Okay, thanks for your support, and hopefully continue.
Okay, yes, me, sports, Scotia Sportsmen, they're not available to come. Shark Scramble. Yes, sir.
Jeff, this sportsman's, this come up every year, and we've suggested to Mr. Bonner. A lot of that money they're looking for is taxes, isn't it? Are they still in this? Then they've never come back to us and looked at that possibility of coming in for the tax exemption there. Have we ever explored that with them at all? I mean, they're a nonprofit organization, and I know when we had Mr. Bonner here last year, we kind of suggested to him, because in a way we're actually giving them money to give money back to us in many respects, because they're paying taxes on the building. You know, I think it'd be somehow, I don't know what we can do. We were pretty good last year when we really were right out with them and saying, hey, why don't you just put in for a tax exemption? I wonder what your comments were on that, Jeff. That's, to me, would be more suitable.
We don't have a tax exemption bylaw anymore. We did away with that about 4 or 5 years ago. So now like for instance, with the library, it's a grant and they pay their taxes. And so the way the Scotia Sportsmen are coming at it is the way that we deal with those situations now. Now, unless they went to the province and made some appeal to be exempt through PVSC. Yeah, so they could come out of that pool. It's still a grant. Sure.
Yeah, to me, I think it'd be better to put them down there, because that's what the discussion every year has been about, is that for their taxes, you know, and then we'd give us a little bit more cushion out of the 70,000 for another group. Because we still have, I've done all my totals for the taxes, and there's still a few shekels left there that we could use. So I don't know what you guys feel, but maybe if we could agree mutually just to move Scotia Sportsman down into that group of taxes.
I have a question, because I don't understand how all this works. So these organizations for this tax part on the bottom, that's not even close to all of them. So what is the, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just thinking.
Yep, so the history on this is that we used to have a tax exemption bylaw, and which you can have. Under certain criteria, you can exempt a not-for-profit organization of property tax. And we had about a half a dozen organizations on that list. And we did away with the exemption bylaw and made them apply for a grant. Now, the exemption bylaw had to be renewed every year, the same as a grant would have to be, but we never, frankly, we never made the groups ask year to year for the exemption. Council didn't necessarily appreciate how much money was being exempted, and I know for certain that some of the organizations didn't know how much money was being exempted. So this makes it more clear in terms of the dollar value of the grants that are being provided, in doing it through a grant process. So the fact that there may be other not-for-profits out there that own property that are not applying for grants, you know, they have the opportunity, but let them ask. The process is there.
Yeah,
so.
that was my question, like how many, yeah, I just didn't understand how that worked.
Yeah, so
Like,
that's kind of the
I guess my
history of
question
it.
is, why wouldn't you? Which surprised me, okay.
We had a new group enter the fray or enter the process 2 years ago, and they received very little. I think council looked at it perhaps at that time that this group had never applied before, had always been able to pay the taxes and should be able to pay their taxes, and they didn't apply this year at all. So.
Okay. Thank you. Counselor, you're my.
Because you have some like the Lions Club, for example. I know we get into that discussion before, and I noticed they're not, I don't think they're on the list this year, are they? Are they there? Oh, good.
They are, yeah.
Because we had discussions on them, but when you look at the other groups, like a lot of these groups that we've seen here today, they don't really have property for the most part. And I think we've pretty well picked up most, in those other groups, they have offices, or they're renting offices in corporate buildings, or they're occupied with a landlord who's collecting rent, so therefore it's off right, taxes are coming in from the landlord. But I'd like to see us get that Scotia group down into that bottom line. That was my point. And then once they're into that bottom cluster, that gives us another 450, whatever it is. Do we know, Jeff, how much they need for taxes?
Go ahead.
They've estimated on their submission, but their request is for $1,000. Their tax bill, they estimate, would be $3,000 to $4,000. You know, actually, what's probably going to happen this year is the commercial property tax rate will probably come down because we're doing that shift from property tax to a sewer rate increase, because we've been subsidizing the sewer operation through the tax rate. So as that transfer happens, the tax rates come down. So they'll probably see a tax bill that's less than it was last year.
So for us, we can just put in the amount down the tax.
Councilor McIsaac?
Thank you, Your Worship. Yeah, this here is great, the way that it's got, it shows.
Yeah.
It shows the grants that they're getting for taxes. It never used to do that a few years back till we adopted it, and it's great. And it does let the nonprofit organizations know, because we've had people before us here, if you can remember, Jeff, that didn't have a clue how much the town was forgiving in their taxes. So this is money. This is real money here, sitting here,
Yes,
that they don't have to pay. And for us to, I'm kind of, I got a mixed feeling on soliciting people to come before us to ask for these exemptions, when it should be up to them, not up to us to ask them. That's just my concern, because we could get into, you know, a lot of forgiveness of grants to nonprofit organizations, right? And there's all different gray areas where you can go into these nonprofit organizations and still make lots of money for whatever reason. So I think we ought to be careful, and if this organization, to me, if it wants to have a grant forgiven, I don't think we should send them off a letter or whatever. I think it should be up to them to decide whether they want a grant and for forgiveness of taxes. Let them do that. I mean, if they're watching this today, I mean, I'm not against giving them the grant, but I'm not going to send them a letter and ask them to come see us.
Well,
That's just my thought, that's all.
yeah, but along with that is if you send a letter to one, right? Right. And I like my Lay's potato chips. Okay, I just didn't understand how that bottom part worked. Okay, so good. Sorry, your time's up.
Well, that's good. That's great. John Boudreau, coordinator of the Yarmouth Shark Scramble. We're a nonprofit organization, and this will be our 16th year in operation. And we're looking for some funding this year. I think you have my forms in the letter. We've extended it to 4 days now, and it's a lot of fun for family and the participants. If there's any questions.
Any questions for John?
How many boats you have last year, John?
Boy, that's a good question. 24 boats, but we have a lot of participants are in the boats now. They instead of having so many boats, you have less boats, more people.
Yeah. For the amount, Your Worship, and thanks, John, and thanks for all the work you've done over the last, I know you've been involved in every one. I think for the bang for the dollar, if you're trying to get people into downtown, I don't think you see any bigger rush of people than when you see for the weighing, right?
It's been quite an event.
Yeah, and for $1,000.
I haven't seen one yet because I can't get through the crowd.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And for the amount
I
of
hate
money
crowds.
that the organization's asking for, Your Worship, I think it's well spent. It puts us on the map, not only regionally, but right across Canada. We've had teams from all over
US,
North, U.S., yeah. And hopefully with the boat, hopefully with the boat, and maybe John can do some input with YASTA and the destination people, that we might be able to attract a couple more people, or somebody else is interested in maybe not this year, but might do something next year.
Sounds good.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Thank you, John. Any more questions, anyone? Good, great job.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. Barb, you're up. Welcome. Yes, I know.
Hi,
That's-
Council.
That's how I remember.
In September, I went to Newfoundland for my son's wedding, and when I was there, I noticed a few things that I thought, why aren't we doing this in Yarmouth? And I have a little, I made this up, I'll pass it around and leave it here after. The first thing when I got there, we went up to Signal Hill, and at the base, about this high, there was a Newfoundland dog statue, bronze,
Had my
I'm
picture
guessing.
taken on it.
Yeah, and a Labrador Retriever. And they have little plaques, and it's in front of one of their big buildings, and it said, "Our famous friends, the dogs of Newfoundland and Labrador." And I thought, we have our own dog. We have the Little River Duck dog, or the Yarmouth Toller, that originated here. And I thought how wonderful it would be if when people got off our boat and they were coming up the hill to the Tourist Bureau, I could stand there, or someone else with a Little River Duck dog, and meet them. So I thought I'd present it to you and see how it went. We have some signs out in Little River Harbor. They've changed it up a couple of times. My dogs are both therapy dogs, so they're good, safe, kind dogs. And I thought people that especially with kids after a long boat ride, they're going to remember that. They're going to see the dog and they're going to want to pat the dog, just like I did when I went to Newfoundland and saw the Newfoundland dog. I wanted to pet it. There was a real one there, and so did everyone else. And
Yeah.
that's
Thank you. I've had some emails from, there's a lady in Halifax, or a couple ladies in Halifax, same question. Are we going to do this with the Nova Scotia duck dollar and things like that? So it's certainly on the radar.
Okay.
Any questions for Barb?
Yes. And this does not have to go on
I-
tape.
Well, yes, it does.
I was looking forward to seeing one.
Forgot to. Yeah. Well, I have one picture of me and the dog with our Southwest Health ID for our volunteer.
Are you giving us this?
Yes.
Okay, you can
No,
start her
I'll
there.
start-
Counselor Langell has a question. Go ahead.
Not really a question, Your Worship, but a couple things are coming to mind here. Barb's got a good project.
Yes.
Kind of an awkward fit for us in some respects because where we do that, but on the other hand, there's merit. I'd like to see this go to Yarmouth and Acadian Shores. I mean, to me, this is we spend thousands upon thousands on living wharves, where we've been doing, and other projects of tourism readiness or whatever it is called. This is the kind of project that really Yarmouth and Acadian Shores should be looking at. And secondly, where it's experiential, it may be something that you may want to look at the tourism task team that you're the chair of, Mayor Mood. This is something that is experience-based, and that as well, funding should be there. Because I'd hate to see, like today, I mean, you're asking for a fair chunk of change for the project, but on the other hand, the project, in my opinion, has a lot of merit with those other agencies looking at it. So I'd like to somehow get the message that this be referred, or Barb be referred as well, to look at those other funding partners as well.
Yeah, that's just it. I didn't know where to present it,
Yeah.
and then when I saw that I
Yeah.
could apply for this, I
Yeah.
thought, well, why not? At least I
Yeah.
could get in and present my pitch, just like Dragon's Den, and
Yeah.
because I do think it's a good idea. I think people will remember that, and I really think that we should have a bronze statue of that dog in this town, be it at the Tourist Bureau or here on the property or somewhere, because it's our dog. It's the provincial dog of Nova Scotia, and there's only 3 dogs now that are of Canada, and we're lucky enough to have one
Exactly.
from Yarmouth.
Councillor Mooney?
And Your Worship, and thank you, Barb, nice presentation and a great idea. And I was just thinking, with the Tourism Task Force, is that money rolled over, or is that money, once you're done?
We had a batch of submissions come in with an end date. The letters of offer just went out. So I don't know if another batch, I think there's a little bit of money left. Little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and who would Barb contact?
And actually, that's where I did see that. Wasn't from you, but it was from somebody else. But it wasn't in the form of a proposal. It was just, this is a great idea. So we don't deal with ideas, we deal with plans.
Yes, so
And-
I'll leave it with
We
you
need the-
guys and
we need
maybe
the plans.
steer it in the right direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yasta doesn't give out grants, so.
Stronger project than some of them that we're doing, because you're going to be hitting pretty well everybody coming up, as we call it, Ferry Hill, and the visual presence is going to be there. So it's really something that we really should be focusing on, in my opinion, anyway. So I definitely go on those 2 routes right away, because I know Yazda, I would assume the CAO is in the budget process or getting near their budget process. Or where's Yazda with the budget process? Are they kind of in it now? Not sure? No. Okay. So I would talk to them out at the municipal office. That's where their offices are out there.
Okay.
And it's Yarmouth and Acadian Shores. And the acting director is Cheryl Robichaud. I would talk to him for sure and take the idea to him. And I think I'd like to make a motion that we refer Barb's proposal to Yarmouth and Acadian Shores for their consideration. Then we can formally at least we know it's going somewhere.
Okay. So I'll wait to hear back from them, and then I'll go and...
Well, I would bang on the door.
Okay.
I had nothing wrong with banging on the door. I make that a motion, Your Worship. Would like to move that this proposal be referred to Yarmouth and Acadian Shores for their study and review. Her request. Well, yeah, but I'm suggesting why, you don't like me to refer it to Yarmouth and Acadian Shores?
I think and
No.
I'll second
we're
the
not
motion to
withdrawing
get it on the
Just-
floor.
My only point is, Councillor, is that she's looking for $9,000. That's that is, what is that? 1/7 of the total budget that we're giving away today. And I hate it. What happens if she doesn't
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's it.
The motion is to refer to Yarmouth and Canadian Shores so that they can help her with this as well.
Okay.
Question.
So moved and seconded. Any more discussion? Question's been called. All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Carried.
Your worship,
Call me anyway.
yeah.
Call me.
And your worship, and don't go yet, Barb. And your worship, there's a second part of that equation too, is she talked about a statue. I'd like to make a motion that we send the idea of a statue of our Yarmouth County dog to the Waterfront Development Corporation for further study.
And, yeah, and I have no, and that's second, I got no problem with it, but don't be going spending any money till we ask for donations.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Everyone in the
Proverbial
town
hands
should
always have-
donate to that. Any business owner
Yeah.
or anybody, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Moved and seconded. Question's been called. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary? Motion carried.
And I'll also stand there with a Nova Scotia tartan jacket, Nova Scotia tartan leash for my dog, and a collar. Every day, 7 to 9.
Thanks, Barb.
All right.
Councillor McIsaac?
Just to let you know, and the other committee member, but councilors know that when they had the retrievers, the Scotia retrievers, the Little River Duck dogs, they had there was 2 captains on the Scotia Prince, Waljack and the other captain. When they had the kennels over in Overton, they bought two pups, and they kept them on the ship all summer with them, and they brought them over to Germany when they left in the fall that year. So those dogs, those troll dogs, are over in Germany. That's when they had the papers, they had the whole thing, they had them all. So those dogs are all around, all over the world. So
They sure are. I've got one I'm taking around to Boston.
They're great dogs. They're great
next week.
dogs.
Thanks, Barb, very much.
Thank you.
Good. That cannon got paid for. I'll bet you somebody would step up and pay for a statue. Ground search and rescue. Must be out searching. Farmers Community Market. What are you here for, sir? Oh, the Columbus Club. Okay, you're after them. You're after these ladies. Welcome.
Thank you.
Haul it close because you're on the internet in front of 2.5 people. And
Thanks,
thank you,
everyone.
2.5 people, for tuning in. Go ahead, Nat.
Thanks, everyone. I'm Natalie Smith with the Yarmouth Farmers Community Market.
And I'm Carmen Camo with the Yarmouth Community Market.
So we had sent in a request for a grant in the amount of $2,000, and that would be to help us to develop a new website, as well as for additional signage for the market, particularly to improve the visibility of the market from Forest Street and for those coming to Brown Street. What we have there right now is none and inadequate. With regards to the website, when we initially had moved down to the downtown location, we found a willing volunteer. It's okay.
Yeah, I just had to
We had
find
found a willing volunteer within the community to help us set up that website at no charge. And from time to time, he is able to do updates. But given where we're moving in with regards to tourism and the market being a destination, and one of the key promotions